Hey everybody, I'm Pastor Bill from Open Door Baptist Church in Morehead City, and thanks for coming back for another word of encouragement. These are weekday videos that we're putting out to help us, to give us some aid and some support, really, to go back to God's words of encouragement and listen to what He has to say, as opposed to listening to the messaging of the world all around us. And today we're going to go back to our E100 Bible reading plan and take a look at the end of the story of Jonah. Now, Jonah, as you probably know, has been sent by God. A great fish has swallowed him up and taken him where he needs to go, has spit him out onto the shore of Nineveh. At this point, at the end of the story, Jonah has already preached in Nineveh God's mercy and his warning, and the people of Nineveh have all turned from their sin and humbled themselves before the Lord. But this makes Jonah very, very angry. And in his anger, this is what he charges God with. He says, "You are a merciful and compassionate God, slow to become angry, rich in faithful love, and one who relents from sending disaster." And Jonah left the city and he sat down east of it. And then the Lord God appointed a plant, and it grew up to provide shade over Jonah's head to ease his discomfort. And Jonah was greatly pleased with the plant. And when dawn came the next day, God appointed a worm that attacked the plant, and it withered. And as the sun was rising, God appointed a scorching east wind, and the sun beat down so much on Jonah's head that he almost fainted, and he wanted to die. And he said to God, "It is better for me to die than to live." And now listen, the end of the story, God's words are so important here. So the Lord said, "You cared about the plant, which you did not labor over and did not grow. It appeared in a night and it perished in a night. Shouldn't I care about the great city of Nineveh, which has more than 120,000 people who cannot distinguish between their right and their left, as well as many animals?" God cares about his creation. Unlike Jonah, who did not bring up the plant, nor did he cause the plant to perish, what God is saying here is that he is the one who is in control. Did you see that? God caused a plant to grow up. God sent a worm to attack the plant. God rose up an east wind. God caused the sun to beat down on Jonah in order to show Jonah that what he had already said about God, that God is merciful and compassionate, that this does not only go for Nineveh and the sinners in Nineveh, but God was even showing his mercy and his grace on Jonah. Even by afflicting Jonah with pain and discomfort, God is showing his gracious mercy and love to Jonah by drawing his attention back to the truth of God's mercy and grace on Nineveh. This is so encouraging to me because I can see God's power, his sovereignty, his grace, his mercy, and his love in the life of both Nineveh, who I so often imitate, and to the unfaithful, complaining servant, the prophet Jonah, who I so often imitate. And so in these moments, God is encouraging me to look to him as my provider and to know his grace, both on the Ninevehs of the world as well as the Jonahs of the world. Well, I hope that this is encouraging to you too, and I hope that you'll tune in Monday for another word of encouragement.